Khaled Meshal will step down as Hamas chief following an upcoming election to determine the group's new political leader. Meshal will be letting other Hamas leaders run for the leadership of the organization's political bureau and steer the movement's policy after he retires in the next few months. Meshal was elected head of Hamas's political bureau in 1997. Shortly after his ascent to Hamas leadership, Meshal was the target of a botched assassination attempt by agents from Israel's Masada espionage agency, operating covertly in Jordan. Dozens of activists returned to Tel Aviv's Rothschild Boulevard on Monday night as a reminder that the social justice they sought in the summer has yet to be satisfied. A few tents were set up at the northern end of the boulevard alongside some mats, while some activists wore their tents on their bodies so as to avoid having them confiscated by municipality inspectors. The protesters said that their intentions are to show the government that until they are heard, people will continue protesting until it erupts again in the summer. A 26-year-old Israeli activist of Ethiopian origin, Mulat Araro, set out on foot to Jerusalem on Monday morning to protest against racism in Israeli society. Starting out from his home in Kiryat Malachi, Araro, who's a member of an Ethiopian activist group, will take 3 days to reach Jerusalem, arriving in time for an anti-racism protest, which is scheduled to take place on Wednesday. Hundreds of demonstrators hit the streets of Kiryat Malachi last week, protesting what they call the discrimination of Ethiopian immigrants. According to Ethiopian residents of the town, housing committees in the city have been refusing to sell them apartments. Hate graffiti against Israelis of Ethiopian origin was also sprayed on several vehicles and walls in the town last Sunday. The Israeli opera will perform Carmen at the foot of Masada in June. The Georgian mezzo-soprano Anita Rashvili-Shveli will reprise the title role, which she has also sung at La Scala in Milan and at New York's Metropolitan Opera. The Masada production is set in the Wild West. There will be 5 performances of the production, which involves about 2,500 performers, stage technicians, and other staff. The company's experience with mounting operas at the site were a huge success. Those performances drew thousands of foreign visitors and were seen by more than 120,000 people. A delegation of the Lapland minority living in northern Norway will arrive in Israel next month for a first-of-its-kind visit in a bid to learn from the Israeli experience of reviving the Hebrew language and passing it on to the younger generation. Awareness to the Lapland people's rights has been growing in Norway in recent years, including the preservation of the Lapland, also known as Sami, language. Members of the Lapland minority approached the Israeli embassy in Norway recently and asked for Israel's help. They have the financial support of a Norwegian governmental program for the preservation and revival of the language. A delegation is expected to arrive in Israel in early February, wearing the Lapland traditional clothes.